Hello there. Right. The plan is I did capture some footage earlier. For some reason, it didn't capture the video footage of what I was talking about, so to speak. So, I think what I'm just going to do is input a bulk standard bit of footage associative to Star Wars, well, SWTOR, just me playing the game maybe, whilst my commentary is there, because as I say, I was heavily talking about the issues with the game, how they could make it better, and it's a shame because, as I say, the video footage sort of helped the narrative of my opinion. So, well, when you realise that the audio isn't nothing to do with what's on the screen, you'll see for yourself. Peace. I was just going to discuss some stuff associative to SWTOR. And what would make me play this game a lot more. I think, like all of us, it's content first. I mean, I was a big player for PvP back in the day. I'd done quite a lot of dungeons, or flashpoints as they call it. But truth be told, I didn't play the raids or anything like that. Never really, I played mostly ranked in PvP, and then I somehow got into Warzones, and I actually preferred Warzones to ranked, funny enough. I think it was all the offence, like the modes and all that. But what I was thinking was, I think these new skill trees, so they're good. But do you know what I would really like is for them to just how can I explain it? Put all the disciplines onto one tree, and then like what you could do is pick certain abilities. So like here where you got, your shatter, it would be nice if you had to pick that, and then it would, cross-reference into what, the buff you get. But you was able to like change your abilities, if that makes sense. So, I mean, like here, instead of it just being only in PAL, you get the chance of, say, getting crushing blow, say, or on rage, obliterate. And I think this would make it so much more funner. And as I say, these three passives or upgrades to the ability, which is associative to the ability, they change based on which ability you pick. And like so with Force Crush, you know what I mean? It looks like there's no passives associative to it, but I would like to see something like this implemented if I was going to give my overall opinion. It'd make the game a lot more funner, bring back like hybrid classes of like back in the day. I've run through all the story classes, which is something I find the best content in the game is the story classes. It's a shame with like some of the better expansions, specifically like story expansions like Knights of the Fallen Empire, what's the other one? Knights of the Fallen, Knights of the, what was it? Knights of the Eternal Throne, something like that. I think all of these would have benefited having separate, interactions between classes. So I mean, they didn't have to go overboard. They could have just done like what they've done with what do you call it now? The origins, not the origin story. What do you call it? They've changed it to be. So is it combat styles? I don't know if they call it that, but whatever, you know. So you get your tech spectries and or your tech classes, and then you get your force classes. I think if they made it so the interactions was based upon whether you're force user or not, it would have made Knights of the Fallen Empire and the one after it so much better. I don't expect them to do 8 class stories, you know what I mean, like 8 different interactions, but I think it would be nice if they make a difference between whether you got the force or not, but yeah, overall, I think the game's in a lot better state, a lot better. Like the graphics is, and I need a new graphics card to be totally honest. So I'm playing it quite low spec wise. But overall, yeah, the game's a massive improvement. Like from, even, I remember playing this on an old crappy rig. I think it was a Vista rig, Windows Vista, and let alone Windows Vista wasn't the greatest. This game was a struggle to play. The stability of it was so terrible. The optimization, how they optimized it was absolutely awful as a release game. And if they fixed it sooner rather than later, I think it would have done it a lot more, justice, but they waited so long, which I understand these things take a long time to implement. The development timing and so forth, so it's a hard one. I totally understand, and obviously getting the approval. I think EA is, in my opinion, is one of the worst publishers, considering all the amount of good games they've got under their banner. They really hold these developers back and the games back. For instance, you look at Apex Legends. All their games seems to go wayward, and they get heavily monetized and so forth. Which I'm all for. Like for this game, same as Apex Legends. It's a free to play game at the end of the day. But it makes, I think as a player, if they can update their store frequently, they should be able to update their content and their game frequently enough. You know what I mean? I'm not expecting content every week like they do with the store, say, or Fence or what have you. Even just bug fixes, getting the game running. You know what I mean? You know about issues with the games, put some effort into it. But yeah, overall, I buy, as I say, you can see I buy skins, but hey, why not? I know my GPU needs changing, so I will end up doing that. I'll probably look at buying one next week. I've been meaning to look at buying. I'm thinking about the Intel B580. So I wonder how well that would run a game like this. but I am thinking about doing more and more content on it. Probably, you know, starting new characters and running them through all the origin stories, because it is some of the best content. And yeah, I mean, yeah, I would like to see more improvements into the game to entice myself first and foremost back into it. I mean, and I can't be the only one who thinks it's something lacking nowadays. It don't have that draw factor. I used to have this urge to play SWTOR years and years ago. I mean, Knights of the Fallen Empire was a big one for me. I mean, because that was actually the first one to draw me back in, expansion wise. I mean, I left years and years prior to that. I didn't even come back for Shadow of Riven because I found it just looked awful, excuse me. And I didn't like the way they portrayed Riven in that, you know, in the story direction. So I came back for Knights of the Fallen Empire, and I used a booster token, I think it was. I got through quite a bit of the content, but I remember I only got through stuff associative to, what event was it? Dark versus Light event. So yeah, I mean, that was a big draw factor. The Dark versus Light event, it actually made me want to play more, you know, as well as having a good expansion on top. And it was all them loot crates and whatnot. Right, so I got to, so I didn't finish it, so I got to Eternal level. Legendary level I never got to. I can't remember. It was quite a hard one if I remember. But there's many people out there who probably did get to it. I mean, but these are the sort of events which would be amazing to have. I know, like, they've got the battle pass, but it's like there's nothing to engage you with the battle pass. You know, if they had like little quests, like, oh, do this and do that, you know, like what the Dark versus Light event had, it made you, it created you goals to achieve when you did log into the game. Plus having this on the side to do, and you got like decent rewards. You know what? I can't remember exactly what you got, but I feel like you got some crates out of it, you know, like skin crates. So this is the thing with it. I mean, I think they can do a lot more with the game, a lot more, and I think they're sitting on what I would call a hot rocket game. You know what I mean? Like, it will soon come back. You know what I mean? It's possible, just with the right vision behind it. I mean, I hope they bring it to Xbox. In my own opinion, it would establish a lot more of a following, and there's a lot of people out there who's never played it before. And frankly speaking, if they did for their first time ever, with the current model as it is, I think a lot of people would like it, and it would get a lot of people onto it. I think if you got it on the consoles, like, as I say, Xbox, I play a lot on the Xbox because I like sitting back, chilling and so forth. The amount of times I've chilled and play on the Xbox, play this game, that was a big issue for me. I mean, I used to get annoyed with the old booting up, you know, the computer, and then there'll be an update for Windows 10 and all this nonsense. So it used to just slow me down all the time. Well, thanks for the hills. Yeah, and it's just, you know, I think it'll be more like that for most players. I think a lot of players have got a console for a bit of couch gameplay and playing sense. But yeah, these are just my thoughts and ideas. This is all I wanted to just, you know, it's a game I love dearly, to be totally honest. It's one of those games I played when I was in college on my little Dell computer. Struggled as anything to play it, and you know, every now and again I always come back to it, and I'd like to be more drawn to it like I used to be. So I just thought I'd give my thoughts and so forth on the game. I probably will carry on playing it. As I say, I don't know what I want to do exactly with it, and the thing is, I'm still messing around, getting all the settings, all the audio done, you know, properly. As I say, even the graphics card, I don't think this graphics card's the greatest for this game, or most games in general. So I think an upgrade next week, and I was told, you know, to get a pop filter or something like that for the mic, and yeah, just improve further to make content so much better, and you know, not to miss a trick. You know, I don't want to produce great content and then be missing out. So yeah, well, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in a galaxy far, far away.